Hi, my name is Barbara Lyons, and for this first assignment, I interviewed Dr. Aditi Tulu, who is a surgeon at the Ronald Reagan Hospital here at UCLA. Just for a little bit of background on Dr. Tulu, she and her husband, who is a professor at Pierce College, they both immigrated here from Greece, where she got her medical degree and he got his teaching credentials. And after they moved to California, she was offered a job here at UCLA in the emergency department, which is where she is currently working. And in more of a social, general context, because Dr. Tulu is from Greece, I just want to bring up the fact that Greece just elected their first female government leader this year, 2020. And so that just goes to show that there's been a massive amount of gender inequality up until this day. I mean, it's still not what it should be. It's not as progressive as it can be, understandably so. And so as she was growing up in Greece as a young girl, she was faced with massive inequalities. Being an ambitious young woman, she saw a brighter future for herself, and she knew that eventually she wanted to move to America and pursue both professional and social opportunities that she wouldn't really be able to have in Greece with her family. And so, like, growing up, she knew that she wanted to be a surgeon from the get-go. I mean, I've known Dr. Tulu for years now, and she's always kind of honed in on that idea that from a very young age she was very passionate about going into the medical field. But a lot of her family members, especially like the more traditional, like older Greek grandmothers and grandfathers, they saw, okay, this is a young girl. She's going to get married. She's going to have babies. She's going to stay in the village. She's going to be the mother. She's going to be the grandmother. And Dr. Tulu was like, as much as I want that, I want something different. And so that was kind of what gave her the first push to go to America. And she met her husband, Alex, the professor, in Greece. And so once they both met and were happy, they decided to make the move. And a lot of it was because both Dr. Tulu and her husband just they were not able to get the opportunities that they wanted in Greece. And not just because of gender inequality. A big part of it was because of gender inequality, especially for Dr. Tulu. And especially because, for scientific reasons, Greece is not the most current and up-to-date with medical schools and different research methods and all these different things that you need in order to become a successful surgeon. So right off the bat, when you're looking at the 4 different levels of power in Mann's IEMP power model, I'm going to start with military power. So being a surgeon, specific to Dr. Tulu, she doesn't have a ton of military power, specifically because she does not work in the military context. There are some surgeons in the world that do work on the military front and are more involved there. But when you're based out of California and you're working in a hospital here at UCLA, there's not a ton of military power that she has derived and kind of acquired over the years. And I think, to say the least, like, during her interview, she was very clear that she is the type of person that if called upon, she would be willing to go and give her skills to the military. And like, she realizes that being a surgeon is not an everyday job. It's a big commitment. It's something that you have to have passion for, and it's something that you have to be willing to put other things aside for. She mentioned a few times in the interview that a lot of times her personal life had to be sacrificed for her to become a surgeon and for her to pursue what she was passionate about. So now, in speaking about the economic side of Mann's power model, so obviously with being a surgeon, you make a lot of money, and Dr. Tulu has expressed that she's very grateful for the fact that she's able to use her salary and use the money that she earns to not only support her family here in California, but her family back home in Greece. I mean, both her parents still live there, so she wants to take care of them. And by having this economic power, she's able to kind of create like a sense of stability for her family and those around her. And it just offers just a greater sense of unity, and it kind of alleviates a lot of stress off of herself and her family, understandably so. Alright, so now in terms of political power, obviously because Dr. Toulouse has been in the medical field for so many years, she's been a surgeon for over 20 years now, she's very well versed in the politics of medicine and healthcare, and so she's able to use her prior knowledge and her just experience as a method to kind of educate others, and in a political sense that can be very influencing on others, and so she's able to kind of use her power as a vehicle to help others understand the ins and outs and the pros and cons of what's going on in the medical field and what they can do to change it. And so for the last type of power from Mann's model, which is ideological power. So as a surgeon, Dr. Toulouse is able to instill just a sense of hope in her interactions with her patients, with her patient's family. At the end of the day, when you go in for a surgery, she's the one that is giving you this comfort. She's the one that's telling you, oh, it's going to be okay. And she's able to use this power for good on a variety of different levels. She's able to use this when someone comes in and their family member has just been in a terrible car accident and she's calmed them down. She's able to use her knowledge to kind of comfort people through just education and kind of just give them the facts that they need and the facts that they want in order to kind of get through what is happening. Especially as a surgeon, you never know what's going to happen. And so at the end of the day, like, having this extensive power as a surgeon is very special and important, because there are very few people in the world that are able to have political power as a doctor, military power, ideological power, and economic power. And I think it's really special and interesting to see how, as a woman, she's able to kind of utilize these different things and kind of make her who she is. And yes, she's been challenged. I mean, any person in the medical field, man or woman, is going to be challenged by your peers, your executives. It just comes with the nature of the job. And I think she's done an excellent job at kind of honing in all of these powers and kind of harnessing them for herself.